Hey everyone, it's Mary back here with more of Midlife Chronicles to find out what our next step might be for this week in our journaling, our unpacking our thoughts, and where we'd like to take ourselves this week, those small incremental steps that I talk about all the time. So I hope you're ready for another journey in Midlife Chronicles. This week, I needed to think about, I kept being drawn back to the word braving, which is, all about, it started maybe 6 years ago when I was settling in Poland. My husband and I had committed to moving abroad, and finally we had decided upon this particular city in Poland, and I had to bring more of me to the picture. I had to get out of my own way, so to speak. Probably you've kind of experienced something like that in your own life where you were the one that was stopping you and not anybody else. So this was something that I had wanted to do for a long time, living abroad and picking a place to call home. And I heard this word called braving that the wonderful author and researcher Brené Brown kind of coined, which set me off on this path of creating Braving Midlife. As a reminder for me to be brave, to do something different, to not always be in my comfort zone, because once you stay in your comfort zone too long, there's not a whole lot of growth that goes on. Would you agree with me? So I felt like I had a blank slate, and it was frightening. But this is the journey that I was beginning, so I wanted to take you on it just in case you run across those roadblocks, the mountain that seems insurmountable, something that somebody else says that kind of, it's like, keeps you stuck, is like, oh, they're right. This isn't for me. Or how dare I even think that I could be so awesome in my midlife. So I just wanted to share some of these thoughts with you. So now would be a great time to go grab your journal and your pen, your favorite pen, a piece of paper. I'll wait for you. I'm going to hang out right here waiting for you. So go ahead and do that now if you haven't already. And for those of you that don't know me, my name is Merry Lynch. I am, as I said earlier, the founder of Braving Midlife, a platform for women that are going through life's transitions, which we go through many of them as women in our lives, and learn how to navigate them with ease and grace. By profession, by schooling, I am a human behavior specialist, which means, quite frankly, that I've done a lot of observing, that through the schooling that I have done in both women's studies and in behavioral sciences, it's taking a look at our core behaviors, what we do on autopilot, what are our strengths, what are our weaknesses, and how we can use both of these, both our strengths and our weaknesses, once we recognize them, to move forward, to dream, to be able to dream and have this incredible life. So I've got a bunch of things to share with you today about going on this journey with yourself. And I'm gonna read some of my notes here. So open up your journal, get ready. So think about these things and what this next chapter for you might mean. What does being brave or braving, like coming out, what does that mean for you? Question number 1. Who am I without my career? For those of you that are in a career, or for those of you that are transitioning out of a career or beyond, who are you without your career, and how do you describe yourself? When I sold one of my first businesses in 2003, I had that business. I created it from scratch. It was a dream. I had created it. I had funded it. I had like developed it. I had loyal clientele. I loved what I did, but it came to a time where it was time to move on. And the day that I handed over the keys to my business, I sobbed like I didn't know who I was. Somebody had said to me, "Who are you without this?" And so I allowed what that other person thought that I was, that like that was all of me. But wait, what about these other parts of me that I haven't used or haven't needed? Why can't I call those forth? But people were saying, well, who are you without this? And so I allowed what other people were thinking about what I was doing, because quite frankly, they were scared because I was moving and growing and they were still right where they were. And they were planning on staying right where they were. That didn't have anything to do with me and my ambitions or dreams. But who are you when it comes to it? Who are you without your career? What happens when you walk into a room full of people? Are people drawn to you? Are people inquisitive about you or curious about you? How can you bring more of you to your authentic self, the person that's deep down inside of you without your career? Who were you before you started your career? And what did that person want out of life? What did I dream about when I was little? So actually, when I was little, I dreamt about owning a chain of stores, which I ended up doing. Now, this was when I was little, like I was, maybe 8, 9, 10. And the other thing that I dreamt about was I wanted to live in a historical place. I wanted to live abroad. Now, mind you, I had never been abroad. The first time I was abroad in my life, other than going to Canada, was to go to Europe, and that was in 1991. I was in my 30s, late 30s, so I had never been abroad, but I had this dream that that's where I belonged. So what did you dream about when you were little? What makes me feel really good about myself? So Brené Brown talks about braving in relationship to trust. Now, I wasn't sure when I heard this word. I really, truthfully, was not sure if I did any of that. If I had faith, if I had trust, certainly if I was in integrity with my words. Like I wasn't sure about any of it and felt really lost. So if that's you, then I get it. Think of braving as an acronym: BRAVING. Got it? The first letter, B, is boundaries. Where are your boundaries? Because if you've got boundaries, then you know if those dreams are your dreams and they're not somebody else's. If you've got boundaries, you're going to trust that you are going to make your next right move. And if it's not necessarily your next right move, at least it's a move, and then you can pivot from there. But if you stay stuck, then you are listening to other people's voices. So we want to make sure that we have boundaries and know what you stand for and when to say no and mean it. There's nothing wrong with saying no, that's just not for me. Thanks so much. That's B, boundaries. R is reliability. Show up when you say you will. If you say you're going to do something for somebody or be at a certain place or a certain time for somebody, do it. A is accountability. We hate this word. Maybe hate is kind of strong, but accountability, we can be accountable to somebody else. We'll go at great lengths to help somebody else out, but when it comes to helping ourselves out is where we stumble. So take a look at where that accountability is for yourself. Do what you say, and say what you do, right? This aligns with your commitments to yourself, understanding where you're going, what you want out of life, and what you can allow and have time for others. That's the A. The V is called the vault. And the vault, if you think of what a vault looks like, the vault is all about confidentiality. Is if somebody tells you something, you need to hold on to that. Like, that's not yours to share. You need to be there for and with other people, and know that if somebody says something to you in confidence, that's where you hold it. There is no reason to go and spread something that's not yours to share with other people. You want people to feel safe with you. That's the V in vault, is confidentiality. I is integrity. Be in integrity with your word. And, none of this is easy. This is, first of all of this is free. This is all free stuff to do. Therefore, it makes it difficult. But being in integrity with your word is being honest, consistent, having strong ethical and moral beliefs and values. Take some time to write about those. What are your beliefs and your values? Like, where are you being honest with people, with yourself? Like, because once you're being honest with yourself and honest with other people, then the people that you surround yourself with will be the people that are supposed to be there, instead of the naysayers and the people that want to drag you down. That's the I. The N is for non-judgment. So stop shaming yourself and being critical of yourself, and as well as being critical of others. Everybody's on their own journey. I'm not perfect. I am still a work in progress. You're a work in progress. Stop being judgmental about yourself and just observe. I like to laugh at myself a lot, because some of the things that I do, because I'm still learning, I'm still on this growth path, some of the things that I do, I have to laugh at, because I'm just trying. I'm just trying new stuff on. I'm just trying new ways of being. That's N, non-judgment. The G is generosity, doing more than what is expected of you. Of your time. It doesn't need to be money. It can be your time. Like, can you put down your phone when you're in dialogue with somebody and be there with them? That's being generous. It doesn't have to be like this grandiose thing, and it's not something that you're going to shout out to the rest of the world. It's what are those quiet, generous things that you can do for someone else that makes them feel important. It makes them feel like you're listening. It makes them feel like you're present. How can you be generous? That's the G. I love this quote that Brené Brown has that goes, "Don't walk through the world looking for evidence that you don't belong, because you'll always find it." That's when we're looking outside ourselves. That's when we're looking for other people's opinion of us, what other people think of us, instead of having our boundaries, understanding our values, being in integrity with our word. All of these things, all of these letters or these acronyms in Braving allow us to walk through the life in an authentic way. And that's what we're trying to get to. There will always be somebody that doesn't approve. Just as when I sold my business, people were like, "Who are you without this business?" There are always going to be people that don't approve. So people are afraid to lose us. They're not ready for growth. So don't go looking for excuses to stay stuck, because you will always find them. Always. I have never achieved anything in my life being comfortable. Just be gentle with yourself and understand that this is all just part of the growth process and part of being braving your life. What will you walk toward in these coming days, coming weeks, coming months, and the coming years? What do you wish to walk toward in braving your midlife? What do you think that life has in store for you? I can't wait to hear. So I hope that this was helpful in our Midlife Chronicles of this week in talking about braving. So have a great week. Let me know in the comments or send me direct messages or emails at mary@askmary.com. I always try and answer as many of these as I can, and know that I am here for you on this journey, and I am on the path right along with you. So until next time, have a great week. Ciao for now.